Hello everybody, welcome back to my science lab. Oops. And today I will be once again doing some copper sulfate videos. Let me try and secure this thing. GoPro. I need to get a new GoPro stand. This phone stand does not work the best, does it? Sigh. Alright, let me just... Alright, finally, I got it fixed. So, I'm going to bring out the copper sulfate, and it has got dirt and everything on the bottom, and doesn't make me happy. So, let me throw this aside. And you see some of the iron on this has been dissolved, so that's not too good, is it? So, let me get the excess on the sides to go in. Like I said, I don't like to waste copper sulfate because this stuff not remotely cheap, you know what I mean? So let me throw that aside. Put this in the beaker. Dang it, that's sad. So, all right, so trying to be careful not to get this dirty stuff in. Interesting. Doesn't seem to be a lot of it, is there? Wash the little crystals in. Set that aside. Push this in. Dang it. So, I have this little cup, which I'll set in there, and I'm going to take... So I'm going to pour the copper sulfate into here. Alright. The crystal seems very stubborn to go in, do they? So, give that a rinse. For those of you who heard that, that's my sister. She, not exactly sure what she's up to. So, Alright. Well, my sister seems to be making a racket, is she? Oh well. Alright. So that's as clean as I can get. That's as clean as I can get, like I said. So, rotate this a little. There. So, in there, I'll show you my crystals so far. It's not that big, so plan to let it grow. Take this filter paper, and I'm going to open it up. I'll throw that in there. Push that in. And I'm going to get my pair of gloves. Man, these gloves have crystals on them. Oh well. I'm getting tired of my sister like saying things to me, so I'm going to just gonna invite her in. Alright, my sister's here. Okay. My sister wants to play with Orbeez, so don't mind her. And I'm going to pour the solution and slowly. That's all. So that one is that aside. And while I set that there to completely drip down, I want to tell you that because I got my new whiteboard all set, the eraser and pens are all done, and I finished cleaning it. So I'm going to use that as my explanation for how copper sulfate can be used to make crystals. So let can you do some of that yellow stuff on the paper? Yeah, that's the mudang thing that I want to get rid of. So I'm not very patient. I'm gonna squeeze the remaining through. Yeah. There we go. So there, nice and clean. So I'm going to plop the crystal back in. I'm going to push it there. Alright. I'm going to recover it with the paper towel. So, there. All done. And before I get to my explanation, I need to get this back in there. So, give that a good rinse. So, and then add some more water to dissolve as much as I can. Throw that there, because that's not needed anymore. Wash this. I'm going to just do that. Throw everything in there that needs to be washed. Clean the sides. It's good to clean stuff when you finish working with this. So that's clean. That's clean. And that can be let through. So I'm going to take off my gloves and I'll get to my explanation. I'll need to fasten the GoPro to a handheld mount now, because this foam stand doesn't like me very much. So there we go. Now unplug it, and I'm gonna leave my sister here. There she is, and I'm going to get to my explanation. So let me come to my desk and put this in a stand. So. There, perfect. So, handheld mount, and see, now I have a nice clean whiteboard, and I have ginger ale. Mind you, I'm thirsty. So, copper sulfate's blue. I'm going to take a blue marker, and I'm just going to open it up, and I'm going to write on here CuSO4. So that's a chemical formula for copper sulfate. So I'm going to draw an arrow there pointing copper sulfate. So let's just say that I'm not sure if this is what it's supposed to look like, but let's say this one's copper, and then we'll have a bond with sulfur, and then we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 oxygens. There we go. Let's say this here is copper sulfate. So there we go. Let me give you a brief explanation of what this formula means. So Cu itself is one thing, so that means copper. S itself is another thing, that means sulfur. O stands for oxygen, which is another thing. And the 4 right here, can you see that it's lower than the normal letters? So that's because it's meaning that there's four oxygen atoms connected to the copper and sulfur. So this stuff not very good for your health. So let me just give you an explanation on what happens when this meets with iron sulfate. So let me set aside my pen. I'm going to just leave that there. And I'm going to grab an orange marker. Excuse me. So alright. This one just froze on me again. So say we have here. Oops. My bad. I want to take a little eraser. Now you know what this part of the equation means. Sulfate. So Fe stands for ferro, which means iron in Latin. So this means iron sulfate. So whenever copper sulfate meets iron sulfate, I'll get. So let's write this down right here. CuSO4 plus FeSO4. I would get. Oh, no. My bad. So, I messed up something there. So, it's supposed to be this. So, whenever copper sulfate meets iron, we will get something that looks like this, which is, we'll have, I'm not going to mix up the colors. We'll get pure copper and we'll have iron sulfate, which is just what we talked about. So, because, let me show you why this happens. So, it's because of that the copper is much less reactive than iron in this case. The copper and iron will gladly switch spots, depositing copper metal and iron sulfate in solution. So that's what happened when I did my paperclip in copper sulfate solution experiment. I got iron sulfate in solution, copper on the paperclip. So the paperclip got very brittle and eventually broke. So yeah. Now, take a look at what I've wrote so far. Now, we've got so let's wrap up. Copper sulfate, iron sulfate, and iron. So, whenever copper sulfate meets iron, it will deposit copper metal and iron sulfate in solution. Now, some of you might say to me, well, what happens if you use iron sulfate instead of copper sulfate and copper metal instead of iron metal? Now, if you expect that to work out like this, you're 100% wrong, because this is what we start with, and because this metal is less reactive than this one, will actually get no reaction whatsoever, because iron is already in a sulfate form, so it cannot really form anything else unless you add other reagents. So, because this is less reactive than this, iron sulfate plus copper metal will not work out like this. So, I hope you understood that, because that's what I was here for today. And so now, if there's anything else you'd like me to talk about, gladly leave I would love it if you leave a comment below. Comment below, and I have edited some of my later videos. So, well, so because right now when I'm filming this, it might not be when you're watching it. There's because Calgary is where I live, there is a confirmed case of coronavirus there. So let me take a red marker and write this down. So, and I'll erase this junk. Man, this board is not too stable, is it? There, excellent. So let's talk about this subject. Coronavirus. So, scientific name is 2019-N COV. Actually, no. I messed up again. I'm so dumb. It's a lowercase n, COV. So, scientific name for coronavirus. Coronavirus is only I think 2 to 6 microns. So this symbol here stands for micron. 1 micron is insanely small. So small. 1 micron is about the size of microns are the size of viruses. So just to give you an idea, a red blood cell is 30 microns. So, yeah. Let's get started though.